Alright, on this week's Mike's Custom Works, what we got going on in the C10 Chevy Custom Deluxe budget build is replacing and overlaying the new rocker panels. So now the rocker panels that are originally on the truck have, well, obviously we've seen some better days. They are rusted out pretty decently, as you can well tell. So what we're doing now, which I've already started, is we're working on the passenger side. Ow. I'll wear flip-flops while doing this. So it's only mocked up right this second, but here is the new one. I have found a way to I can shove it in there nice after I had to cut it. It sits in there very nice. You have to remove the rubber guard, door guard. First you got to remove the plastic trim to get the door guard to pop up. When the doors close, and of course this would be more tightly sealed, it has that nice look to it. So I'm going to start showing you how I'm going to prep the next one for the driver's side, and actually what you're going to do to cut them. Each of these things, I bought them off Amazon. They're about 30 bucks, $30–40 a piece, and they're really, if you have good metal cutters, cutting this by hand is going to hurt your hands. If you got a little tool that can cut sheet metal like I do, makes a world of difference. My issue is that my drill is on the fritz, so it really sucks trying to use it. But here is what it originally looks like before I butcher it. See, it's got this flange that comes out, and it's got this flange section that comes out as well. Now, of course, this section and this section is what goes behind the fender and then also the body molding right here. It's behind here and it's welded in. The issue is for anybody as myself to do that, I'm going to have to really, you know, go in here and I would have to cut this open. No, not doing that. And the fender, same thing. Nope, not doing that. It actually just fits enough that it clears it and it doesn't cause the door to have any trouble closing. So as you can see, if we're looking at this end here, this was this end here. I cut it out here. Cut along this line here, along the edging of it, where you get this. And then this flange section that sticks out here, this is what it looks like after you cut it. Of course, it kind of dipped in a little bit, because it's really hard to cut this, but it fits in there nice, and it's easy. When it's finally in there and I finally go, okay, I like the way it's sitting, I'm going to run screws along here into the existing body and run screws into the plate, the existing body. And that'll keep it in place for a while. And then what I'll do is afterwards I'll hit up all the sections where it laps in and where all the screws are with Bondo, and Bondo all of it, and then sand it so it has that nice smooth finish, so it kind of looks like it was professionally welded in and not quickly screwed in or rednecked on or half-ass or, you know, all the other nice wonderful terms that people use. So we're going to move this guy off to the side because we already know what we have to cut, and put him back over here, put him inside, and I'm going to take, I don't need the screwdriver because that didn't work well. Take the can of oil and put that in the driver's side. Put this window down, it's hot. It is hot as bulbs. So anybody noticed the Dodge is in here? I had just dropped it off at the body shop after the wonderful accident I had on Tuesday. And it's there. So the only way to keep myself from drinking heavily and being aggravated is shoot videos for you guys and keep working on the old Chevy. So I'll flip the camera towards me, we'll start cutting it, and then I'll show you the disassemble of the next stage, and we'll go from there. It's iced tea, not beer. door gasket is not going to allow the door to safely seal. And I'm just going to have to run the gasket down basically as far as I can to there, and run this one down as far as I can to about there, and then that's how it's going to have to be. And then these are getting screwed into, like I said, into there, screws into here and here, then boom, 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 and then two there again. And then when the door is closed, that's what you see. There's a nice dark rocker panel. And there's a little bit of a gap here and there, but it gets rid of that ugly looking gap. Plus now when I get in and out, I don't run the risk of cutting my legs open on the rusted metal. So I'm going to take a quick few second break, collect my thoughts, and then I'll start getting back to work. I'll show you guys what's next. Alright, we're back. Okay. Alright, so I got her screwed into place. As you can see, I had to dent this in a bit in here because it's overlaying it by enough. So unfortunately, you know, I'm not doing it the correct, proper way, which would be as obviously cut and weld, but I'm trying to show you how to do it the cheapest way possible, and it still looks good. So I had to do is, I had to take my, what was it, ballpoint hammer, I think is what you call them, offhand, and had to whack basically in this direction, and then whack in this area, and then open and close the door multiple times to see if it would fit, if the door would close, because before it wasn't closing, it was just wouldn't close, and then it would get jammed shut, and then it was a bitch just to try to get it to close at that point. So I had to do a little hammering till the screws cleared. As you can tell, I put screws. I put 1, 2, 3 here and 1 in there, because that's all I had from metal to screw into, and I put 2 there. And it's in there, you know, a little wiggle to it, but not bad. It's in there, you know. So the point of it is to cover up the ugly rusted section that's down there. And what I could do then afterwards is I'll crawl under, and where the other metal part that's under here that's all rusted out, I can go in there and then cut it all out so that there's nothing else there, basically, that's under it. Or I could leave it. It's not really in the way, but I'll definitely go under there and do some undercoating from the other side. And then this will get, like I talked about before, is I'll put Bondo around here, I'll put some Bondo there and smooth that out nice. The holes I drilled that I couldn't get into anything, I'll Bondo those closed. Those screws I'll Bondo up, and then that little section, sand it all down before it gets painted, so it'll look all nice and pretty. But as I was saying before, is now the unfortunate thing that happened is I can't get the door to close with this trim to where it is. So now I'm going to actually have to cut the trim, the door seal trim, because now the doors won't close with the trim removed, which means when I go to do the passenger side, I'm going to have to do the exact same thing. So pin it here, it's about where it is. So I'll cut it right about there. These scissors are just meant for cutting polycarbonate plastic, and I've used them for everything, and I've had them for years. I use them for cutting like thin sheet metal when the battery dies on the drill and I can't cut anymore. So I've used them there. It cuts right through all that metal, and rubber really nice too. So that's in there nice. Looks like normal. I'm going to do now the other side. So then I'm also going to have to put the screw back in here. So that sits in there nice, which ended up in here somewhere. There it is. Put that screw back in. Juggle the camera at the same time. Find the screw hole, which is I think there. Yeah, I can see a hole in hole. Holy hole. a second there. Found the hole finally. Okay, got that screw back in there. Now we're going to take the other section of this rubber gasket. I'm going to start piecing it back in, like such. And I'm going to see exactly where that one needs to be cut. Which appears to be about right here. Kind of almost like right where the brown mark is. I'm going to push it down for a second, cut this. Okay, that's nice and clean cut. So now when the door closes nice, and opens nice, and no problems. So the driver's side is now done. I'm going to transition over to the passenger side. And then that's really about it. That's how you install them. The cheapest way possible is you just cut them like I showed you. They slide them in, screw them in, and then just reassemble everything and then do a little touching up by just hammering. And that's it. That's how you do the rocker panels.